Most men think when she pulls away, you should try harder, text more, show more effort, prove your value. That's exactly why they lose her completely. Because the truth is, chasing her is what pushes her further away. In this video, we're going to break down the 4 brutal truths behind why a woman pulls away, even when everything seemed fine on the surface. Not from a place of blame, but from a place of clarity. Because once you understand the psychology behind her behavior, something shifts. You stop chasing confusion and start seeing patterns. This isn't guesswork. This comes from attachment theory, emotional investment dynamics, and behavioral psychology, how attraction builds, and how it quietly disappears. By the end of this, you won't just understand why she pulled away. You'll understand what it actually means about her, and about you. And more importantly, you'll know exactly what not to do next. It usually doesn't happen in one moment. You're texting like normal. You go on a few dates. Everything feels good. And then suddenly, her replies slow down. Her energy feels different. She becomes busy. Here's what most men get wrong. They think attraction is a switch. It's not. It's momentum. Attraction grows when emotions are consistently stimulated. Curiosity, mystery, tension, progress. But when interactions become predictable, repetitive, or emotionally flat, that momentum starts to fade. Not because you did something wrong, but because nothing new was happening emotionally. This is tied to a psychological principle called novelty bias. Humans are wired to respond to what feels fresh and engaging. When that disappears, so does emotional investment. So what should you take from this? Don't chase her when she pulls away. Don't try to convince her to like you again. Instead, look at the pattern. Were your conversations becoming routine? Were you playing it too safe? Were you reacting instead of leading? Because attraction doesn't die from one mistake. It fades from lack of emotional movement. And when that momentum is gone, she doesn't fight to bring it back. She just drifts. And that leads to the second truth. Brutal truth number 2. You became emotionally predictable. At the beginning, you were different. You didn't overthink every message. You weren't waiting for her validation. You had your own rhythm, your own energy. That's what attracted her. But slowly, something shifted. You started replying instantly. You started over-explaining. You started needing reassurance. And without realizing it, you became predictable. Now here's the uncomfortable part. Predictability feels safe, but it kills attraction, because attraction thrives on emotional uncertainty, not insecurity, not games, but a sense of not fully knowing what's coming next. This is rooted in intermittent reinforcement, the same psychological principle that makes people addicted to outcomes they can't fully predict. When she could feel you becoming more available, more reactive, more emotionally dependent, the dynamic changed. You stopped being someone she was discovering and became someone she already figured out. And once that happens, her curiosity drops. So what do you do with this? You don't become cold. You don't start playing manipulative games. You rebuild your center. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing responses. You give space, not as a tactic, but as a reflection of your own self-control. Because the most attractive thing you can be is emotionally grounded, not emotionally available on demand. But here's where it gets even deeper. Brutal truth number 3. She didn't see long-term value anymore. This one stings because it's not about attraction, it's about perception. Let's say you're consistent, you show up, you treat her well, but over time, she starts questioning something internally. Is this the kind of man I can build something with? Not consciously, not in words, but emotionally. Women don't just respond to how you treat them. They respond to how they feel about your direction in life, your decisions, your standards, your sense of purpose. If she senses hesitation, lack of leadership, or uncertainty in your identity. Her attraction starts disconnecting from her long-term instincts. This is tied to mate selection psychology. Attraction alone isn't enough. There has to be perceived value over time. So even if she likes you, even if she enjoys your company, if she doesn't see you as someone who's moving forward with clarity, she slowly pulls back. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just quietly. So what's the lesson here? Don't try to prove your value to her. Instead, build a life that reflects it. Make decisions without needing approval. Have direction without explaining it. Move with intention, not hesitation. Because when a woman feels like she has to figure you out, she leans in. But when she feels like she already has, and it doesn't excite her, she leans out. Now let me interrupt this for a second. Here's something most men don't realize. A woman can genuinely like you, enjoy your presence, even feel attracted to you, and still walk away. Not because of what you did, but because of what she didn't feel strongly enough. So the question isn't, why did she leave? The real question is, what was missing that made leaving feel easy? And that brings us to the final truth. Brutal truth 4. You started chasing the version of her that no longer existed. This is where most men get stuck. You're not chasing her. You're chasing who she used to be. The girl who replied fast. The girl who was excited to see you. The girl who made it feel easy. So when she pulls away, you try harder. You text more. You become more available. You try to fix what changed. But here's the reality. That version of her only existed when the dynamic felt different, when she was curious, when she was investing, when the emotional balance was mutual. Once that shifts, you can't chase it back into existence. Because chasing doesn't restore attraction. It exposes imbalance. This is tied to reactance theory. The more you push, the more she pulls away to regain emotional control. So the more you try to bring her back, the more distance you create. And this is where most men lose all leverage, because instead of accepting the shift, they resist it. So what should you do instead? You step back. Not to manipulate, not to play games, but to regain your position. You stop engaging with the version of her that's pulling away, and you stop chasing what's already gone. Because the moment you do that, something changes, not necessarily in her, but in you. And that's where your power actually is. Here's the deeper truth most people don't talk about. It's not painful because she left. It's painful because you felt something real, and it didn't turn into something lasting. And your mind keeps trying to rewrite the story. If I said this differently, if I acted better, if I just waited. But attraction doesn't work like that. You can't negotiate genuine desire. You can't convince someone to feel what they don't feel consistently. And more importantly, you shouldn't have to. Because the right dynamic, the right connection, doesn't make you question your value every step of the way. It doesn't make you chase clarity. It doesn't make you feel like you're slowly losing someone who was never fully there. Sometimes the real lesson isn't how to get her back. It's understanding why you stayed emotionally invested, even when her energy started fading. That's where your growth is. That's where your awareness begins. If this resonated with you, then you've probably experienced this pattern more than once. And the difference now is, you can actually see it happening. So here's what I want to ask you. When she started pulling away, did you step back? Or did you lean in harder? Drop that in the comments. I read all of them. And if you want to go deeper into this, in the next video, I'm going to break down something even more important. Why some women come back after you finally move on, and what that really means psychologically. Because sometimes, the moment you stop chasing is the moment everything reveals itself.